came to listen, but I guess I got to honor her request. I'm a member of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. My name is Tim Mintz Sr. I come here as a water board chairman. We have a water code, basically within the governs the water and the water use, including the quality and the quantity. And I come here to listen to the diverse concerns and issues related to water and environment. There's so many external issues that we could talk about. And I heard some from a young gentleman that was here earlier, and he was very eloquent in his laying out exactly what he's feeling. At one time, we had the support mechanism within our structure, that we took care of all of these things. Don't think that we, as people, were traumatized by warfare. And I think you understand that we all are human. We all feel things. We feel the aura, we feel the energy between each other, and including in conflict, we feel that. So I just come here to share a few things with you in relation to those types of things, rather those concerns that we have with the environment. I know it's very important to understand that we all have a gift. We all share that through this just sacred opening of our body. And we know that even one word can change the life of a person. We know that. We know actions can replicate through time and affect a lot of people, even though they're not there. I wasn't on the front line when October 27th, when a lot of that occurred. But yet I'm feeling it yet. I felt this young man who left here, I wish he was here, I wanted to express my concern to him that yeah, there's healing that we have. There's also healing in the form of spiritualness that helps to cope, if that's the correct word. We have a word for it. To handle and understand what you have been subjected to, that you experienced. Those things we have yet, but they're not prevalent within this setting. There's a number of reasons why. I was a part of the first establishment when it first got established down there. It was through ceremony. And I don't think a lot of people that are coming here that are outside our culture understand when we just say, you think we're just saying ceremony as just a loose word. It's not. When we talk about ceremony, we talk about everything, including the environment. We talk about all those elements that represent those parts of our ceremony that's required within the setting of spirituality, within our gift. We should be sharing that. The problem with that is we took it underground. We were forced to take a lot of our spiritualness underground. That included our knowledge of the environment. We took that underground. And that started in 1890. There was a huge transition. You're going through a transition now, even with the camp setting. Hearing all these things. I've been down there, I've been camped down there. I camped off and on a number of times. I have finally had to walk away from there for some very serious issues. And I heard some of it expressed from this young man. I experienced that too. I was confronted too. I was called a number of things by younger men that they really thought they had a right to belittle me, to really basically dehumanize me and what I understood and what I stood for. That's not the Lakota way. We have to be good Lakota. If you're not, you don't belong here. Those feelings can be placed somewhere else. And there'll be individuals there to take care of that for you until they can bring you back in. We don't have that set up right now. But I appreciate the lady that stood up and said we have a medical tent, a mental health tent, and those types of teachings, those skills rather, of those individuals that can help individuals that have been traumatized. It's been nothing new to us. All our forefathers, all our relatives have been through this. As young boys, we would know how to deal with it. We had those older people that helped in a very humble, special way. Wa'unshida, one of the greatest virtues. It's the fourth pole on our teepee. Wa'unshida, compassion. That's the hardest thing to be able to accept here, right here. But yet when we do that, we bring in all forms of healing and understanding. And you can't have that healing and understanding without being with nature, the natural laws, the environment, as people call it. For us, it's the natural breathing, giving of Unchimaka that allows us to be able to exist on this earth. The problem with that, some people have forgot that. And we're kind of reluctant. As you can hear in my voice and what I'm saying, we're kind of reluctant. I'm reluctant to step up and share the things that probably should be shared. There's a place for those. But it's hard to do that in something like this setting. It's also very hard to talk to individuals that want to go out the door and start sharing it with all the world based off of their interpretation of went in here and came out here. The old people talked about that. How do you hang on to that? How is that now when it goes this way, like it's doing today? People aren't listening. They compress it. They make their own decision. Maybe it's something that was given to them, but it goes back out the way it came in. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So we talk about cardinal directions. Today, with the elements, they're changing. Natural law is changing. We experience that. The first very important cardinal direction that we, as people, when we talk about our oral knowledge, our creation stories, the first teaching of Eon, the stone, the rock, was all directed north. The power was north. So the north to south was very important to us as people, for us to get along with nature. The harshness that those 4 seasons brought, but yet the power of north to south is where we stood. We stand south facing north. Today, when Patesangwe brought that chanupa, that very sacred scarlet object, we reversed it. We stand east to west now and pray. Before we had that Eon. We had the Shao. Those 2 items were very important to us before the chanupa came to us. Because it all dealt with what we're talking about and what we're supposed to be talking about in relation to how do we preserve what we have left, the environment, the natural laws. We don't bring in the natural laws. But yet, at home, in the districts, on these reservations, you got the older people that know it clear. They know it clear and concise. They don't fabricate, they don't sensationalize, they don't even change what they heard. They keep it pure. Because that's the way Unchimaka is, pure. But today she's sick. She's sick because of greed. Because of the materialistic things that people want to hold in their hand. They don't believe in touching something anymore. Even the nari. The tangibleness of our spirit comes with that moisture of our hand when we touch things. Our breath. How our individuals at one time could call the buffalo simply by connecting to the breath. If they stood 200 miles away, it was their breath. Spirit callers. Those are some of the things we don't talk about, but yet today, right now, at that camp, that's what we should be talking about. But guess what? The young individuals there thought, that's not important. You don't want to talk about the environment there. We want to get up at front and confront those people that are standing there, muzzle they're standing with that gun, with that authority. They want to confront authority. They don't want to confront the hazard that we're in of losing Unchimaka. That's what we have to be here for. For me, yeah, I've done a lot of things in my life. I never shared a lot of it. But they told us that there's going to come a day when at this generation, there's a generation gap out there that one day that generation is going to have to stand up and they're going to have to start explaining things to the younger ones. If they're willing to listen. So nobody took them when they're this young. Took them outside. Make them pick up that maca. Eat dirt. Everybody, my age group, teachings that our grandmother made us do. Not our grandpa, our uncles, our grandma. Made us taste that dirt. Made us sleep on the floor. I was born in a 2-room log house. No, my grandmother would not have a floor in it. You got to lay on unchimaka. If you don't lay on the dirt, you lose the connection. Now look at how it is today. We're not standing outside talking about these things. When your feet touch the ground, you're showing honor to Mother Earth, to Unchimaka. We don't take off our shoes like the old way. We don't stand there barefooted like we're supposed to. Then you're truthful. Then you speak from here and here. When those are one, Mujina, you talk from your heart because this can confuse you. So the environment is changing now. It went from north, we stand west. That's where Patesang stepped out of those 4 stars. The 4 forces of Mother Nature, they call it. Those 4 that have a name. But what we're experiencing now, because of what we're doing to the climate, it's shifting now. It stopped at southwest, now it's going south. The old people talked about this. If it goes south, counterclockwise, devastation is going to come to us in a form that we could never imagine. Desolation of Unchimaka. We're ripping the skirt off of her. We're digging into her. We're taking the blood of Unchimaka. That's the water. We're pulling it all out of her. When they frack up there, guess how many gallons of water they use? Quite a bit. Just for one frack well, to frack one time, takes 1.2 million gallons to frack once. And these wells now are webbing off. Octopus They got these lines up to 30 simultaneously fracking. So now you're up to 30 million gallons of water per frac per day. And there's what, close to 2,000 wells right now up in North Dakota. Let alone the great buffalo that we stand on. We talk about Turtle Island. But that's what's so unique about us. We all have our own story. In Ocheti Shakomi, we all have our own story and understandings of us as individual Kioshpais, Oshpais, Kiwahes. We all have a gift. Every one of us that are indigenous to this land has a story. It may not be the same as the next one that's a couple miles from us. Maybe that teaching came different. But what's important about it, it means something to us for our children and the ones that are yet to come. So if you notice now, the older people are talking about how the ants are going in early. Ants are already in, they're gone. The geese already came early. Those are the times when you start movement again. When that north to south, the original first teachings, the Buffalo Nation north, and the Animal Nation in the south, when they migrate, that was the Nari movement, what we understood as the great mysterious movement that happens between everything that has this, a chantet, that has a beating heart, including what you're standing on. She beats, she has a heartbeat. What they call Turtle Island here, I understood it as the great buffalo. It's a buffalo. So we all have different understandings. But because of the devastation, the hurt, the anguish of what Unchimaka was going through in our creation stories, we asked for help. Tungashina had pity on us. He said, put this sangwe with that sacred scarlet object. She came and she brought teachings to us. She brought a way of life. So from north we switched. Now we're on that spiritual trail of east to west. Two spirits coming up at different times of the year and of the month, the sun and the moon. The Nari from Putesami. Why we hold our pipe in honor of that. But they told us also, when these things come, there's two forms of black snake. That was originally, I brought that up down in Keystone meeting, 2013. It was in January. There was a big meeting down there. I and Orville Looking Horse went down there. They're invited down there. We asked to come and talk. That man that had that dream, also of that clanship, there was a number of them that had a dream about the black snake coming. Wa'atana, chaje yuha we chachaki. That's it, was it? I actually had naji. Unchahe. Daku was teste he kaga na honey. A homini hetched yaka hetched yan unchahe. Daku wakan he. He stood on a hill just a little ways from here, that man. He was given a gift, a revelation, of two of them coming. The first one was going to break up our societies and keep us away from each other. That's the pavement, the black pavement you see. We don't walk on the hill anymore. We don't go after our medicines anymore. We don't pay honor to Unchimaka anymore. We don't even get off that road anymore. We don't have the time to. That's what's bad about it. Then you get somewhere like our age, where'd all the time go? I still got so much to do. Yeah, D'akhenya is calling us back now. We had our chance. That's part of the prophecy of this element we call the environment, the various elements. And it's coming to a really bad collision course with destruction. Those two are going to hit. It's coming close. But what was important about what they said is, remember what that man said. Two of them are coming. The second one, they didn't know what it was, but it was going to be black. What they call, you see it now, zuzet or something. A black snake is going to be bored into the ground. He's going to stick his ugly head up and poison everything. Go back down again. Pop up over here. He's going to create a webbing. And he's taking all the veins of Unchimakawe, water. And that spirit stood there and he held dirt up and he went like this. This is how hard it is going to be for you to walk to your relative. And Wanatana said that all that dirt blue landed all over. That's how the children, the Lakota, Nakota are going to be. But he also brought a gift and a warning. And you hear our keeper talk about that. When the animals turn white, that's one of them. That's when major change to the environment is going to happen. And we're in that right now. But he also gave another warning. When those little D'akhenya, when their hair turns white, when they're born, or when they're this big, when they first start to walk, that's when there's no more Lakota. Nakota. The 3 poles, we're 3 pole people. Those 3 poles are so important to our understanding. And now I have Lakota, Dakota, Nakota. The foundation that holds our tipia is our 3 dialects. That's how important language is to this. So if we don't have that spiritual language, we'll never understand the environment. If you can't bring the older people back into this, you're going to lose a lot. How much have we lost so far? How many of those nationalities have lost so much simply because they bring up one word that I really despise? Repetitious. Or repetition. That's what we were. That's how we kept our oral knowledge and our oral history pure, is being repetitious. So you sing a young person, I heard that before. He says the same old thing every time he gets up. Yeah, that's the way it was meant to be for us. If I went into somebody's backyard, heard what their understanding and what their culture is, I would never confront it. Knowing that in here, that doesn't allow me to do that. I have respect for their way of life. That's not what's down here. That's not what's down at this camp. It's important that we understand. And I heard this young gentleman say some very important things as he stood up here and what he's seen and felt. I felt that too. The power of prayer that was there, that's still there. We got to bring it back up. There's been 5 ceremonies now that we've been through. This last one, there was only 8 of us. We put the word out for people to come. Even at the camp, nobody came. Maybe it was supposed to be like that. But the environment in relation to how we view it as, if we can't have that hilltop out here, yeah, we can't talk anymore. If we can't have that blade of grass turning green, we're coming to an end of total destruction. Now the water. Just what they were doing up there, standing on that hill, standing below there, spraying all those chemicals going in the water. You know, I heard some of these older people coming up to me and saying, why aren't you doing something? Go up there and stop them. See, how many people were trying to go up there to stop them? I seen that. So now there's this big legal side of it. The big issue of how do you address it from a common law position. We have to, again, take our natural laws and put them over here. But my point in bringing all this up is, let's not forget the natural laws. That's what I think you came here to hear. Right on the side of the river. I was born along the river right over here in a 2-room log house. All 4 of us kids, about the last one. So we got different types of understanding and levels of knowledge. But what I know and seen what they destroyed, there's things that are going to happen. They're coming in. If you don't get violent, those things are going to get taken care of. We got to take violence out of it. One came in. His name was Onavista. When they find him, they open him up. He's going to affect everybody. The ones that tore up all that ground. And they told us 4 not to feel any hurt or guilt of knowing that you're going to get hurt. Spiritually, you're going to get hurt. You're going to go D'akhenya. This is all they use. They don't use this. They're going to go nuts. They're going to go crazy. Because that's what they opened up. That's what that spirit can do. So nothing's lost. Nothing's lost in relation to that side of it, the spiritual, with that ceremony. What we're losing is the environment. And that's what they're here today to hear. What can we do outside of this arena to promote a healthy environment? What can we do? My point is, and what I'm saying is, let's not be lopsided. I know everything's important. I know that. I know what we're doing out there. I know that's very, very important. And we're grateful for the people that came here. But remember, there's an environmental issue here that's going to be long-term, that's going to be continually confronting us. The old people were sitting around this past summer, and you know what they said? That seasons are advancing. What normally happens towards the end of the year is now shifted. What if Christmas is in August? It's shifting counterclockwise. Because of the animals. Everybody's watching those certain animals that trigger when we do certain things. The wind. It's not west, northwest anymore. Guess where it's coming from? South. Everything's coming up the south. So that change is coming now. If we start moving from west, southwest, and south, the only thing that's going to bring that back into balance to the spiritual, east to west, is prayer. For us to have the fortitude and the ability with our courage to confront those people that want to damage Njima. We have to all get together to understand what is our role. This camp here, not only should we be worried about fighting the black snake, everything that lady that just walked out of here talked about, that's a part of it. How much production, how much all of this, when they destroy it, that element of air and water. But what can we do on this side? So we need our lawyers, we need our biologists. Do you need those people that are in this type of arena to step up and help all of us? So I hope what comes out of here is not only that accord that we understand and seeing of unity, all the nations coming together, but why aren't we drafting some type of a climate decree and understanding, even if it's some type of agreement, that we need to have a meeting now of the minds and to see how we can leverage those over 300 nations coming together to confront a tangible effect, but to talk about the intangible and some of the things that are tangible in relation to laws. Something that is in the form of an agreement that we can walk out of. That's what I'm waiting for. That's when I would like to be a part of that. So ever since September 3rd, I haven't talked about it. I haven't talked like this, right? Step back. Trying to help at the camp, didn't work. So you're gonna pull this together. You're gonna pull it together. I'm gonna be a participant because I think now we need to take on the climate issue now. That should be part of the focus. Shift. Be multitask. Our people were multitask. We could do all these things just like that. So let's do that. I hope what comes out of here is a thought that how can we better what's here in relation to climate change? Because this is all a part of it. You see media even saying that. How come we're not saying it? Well, maybe we did. Maybe I missed part of this today. But I appreciate you listening to me. That's my 2 cents. I'm honoring my relative there that asked me to get up and say something. I overdid it. Thank you.